Let's talk recovery. I want to talk about some of the most effective ways that you can recover after your hardest workouts, and really just on a day-to-day basis as you are doing the training that you need to do to accomplish your goals. Now, truth be told, I think there's a much better word that we can use rather than recovery. Instead of recovery, let's think in terms of adaptations. I'm excited to announce that we have a new sponsor for our YouTube channel. Aftershocks is sponsoring this video, and they sent me some of their new AeroPex headphones. I love these headphones. They are amazing. They are waterproof. They have a built-in microphone so you can take calls while you're out on the run. And not only is the unboxing experience just simply stunning, but they have just made such a great product for runners. So these headphones, which I've used, but I've very carefully put away so you guys could experience this unboxing. These are all you get. They are sleek, they are beautiful, and even though they are waterproof, don't bring them in the pool, you'll lose your Bluetooth connectivity. But if you have a high sweat rate, these are not going to malfunction in any way. And what I love about these is that they're light. They are headphones that don't go inside your ears, which is amazing for runners because when you're out there dealing with traffic, dogs, other runners, no matter what it is, safety first. You want your ears wide open so you can hear other sounds that you might have to hear for your own safety. Aftershocks, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Use the link underneath this video to check out a special deal that they have put together for you. You can see their new AeroPex headphones and a bit of a discount on your next purchase. We want to adapt to the workouts, the mileage, and the long runs that we're doing, on a weekly basis. And we do that through recovery, but it's only through recovery do we get what we really want. And what we really want are adaptations. The adaptations that we get from fast workouts, from our lifting workouts, and from all the mileage and long runs that we're doing. Because those are the things, those adaptations that make us into better runners. We build more mitochondria in our cells, the energy factories of our cells. We toughen up the connective tissues and bones and even muscles of our body so that we can withstand more work. So those adaptations are so valuable. How do we get them? How do we make sure that our body is adapting as best as it can from day to day? So let's go through 5 of my most favorite, which I think are the most effective. And we'll go from least important to most important here. And so if we're gonna talk about recovery, I think the first thing we have to recognize is that it matters what we do the other 23 hours of the day that we're not running. And so the first thing I'll mention here is stress. If you are under stress, whether that is relationship stress, whether that is work stress, whether that's stress from any other area in your life, that's gonna negatively impact your training, whether or not you have the emotional space to do a hard workout. I know for me, quick story, there was a time when I thought I was gonna be a lawyer. It's kind of funny, but I took the LSAT in college, and this is a multi-hour standardized test, and it was very cognitively fatiguing. And I went later that day and did a workout by myself on the track, and I bombed. I completely bombed. It wasn't like the pace or the overall effort of the workout was very difficult, but I just didn't have the mental space to really grapple with that workout and to complete it effectively. So I had a really bad workout, and it just really goes to show that the other stressors that you have in your life are definitely going to impact your running. So let's try to plan our major goal races, our blocks of hard training around some of those big life stressors, whether you're getting married, presenting a big project at work, switching roles or positions at work, or maybe starting a whole other job. These things are stressful life events. And if we're trying to do our most challenging training on top of that, something's got to give, and it's usually our running. The other thing that can be really helpful for recovery is making sure that you have time to relax in your life. Time where you can read, time where you can hang out with friends or close family, or other people you just love to be with, and hang out and socialize. We are such social creatures, And that really has such a positive impact on that was an 808 mile. A little slow out here today, it's a little muddy. But that time with friends, to joke around, to laugh, you know, there's all kinds of physiological benefits of that. But let's not ignore the mental benefit of having a good time. Schedule those in your week, and you're gonna be in a better mood. You're gonna be in a better mental state. That's gonna help you recover and have the mental space to really go after your training. Our third most effective recovery tool that you have to make sure that you are fully adapting to your workouts and your training is good nutrition. If you're eating the way I ate when I was in college, not a good idea. We of course want to stay away from all the, you know, mostly the processed foods and high sugar intake. But it's really fascinating with all the professional runners and dietitians and nutrition experts I've had on the Strength Running podcast. None of them recommend a formal diet. You do not need to be keto. You don't need to be paleo, vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, Atkins, Whole Foods, whatever. You don't have to really do any of that. It seems like the real consensus is on eating whole foods as much as possible and eating a variety of really healthy, unprocessed foods. That seems to me the general consensus on nutrition experts and professional runners out there. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. You know, the human beings are nature's ultimate omnivore. We can survive on almost anything, but we thrive when we have a very varied diet. So eat a lot of fruit and veggies and all the good stuff that you know you should be eating, and you're gonna be recovering really well from workout to workout. All right, now we are getting into some of the really important aspects of recovery and adaptation and making sure that you're becoming the strongest runner you can be. The number two most important thing you can do to help yourself recover and adapt to your training is get a good amount of sleep. I just had a runner email me and ask me how much. Well, more is usually better. 7 to 8 hours is the general recommendation, but if you're training a lot, if you're really pushing the envelope, 8 hours I think is a minimum. You should really try to give yourself 8.5 or 9, just so that all your bases are covered and you're doing, you know, as much as you can to really adapt to what you're putting your body through. Because sleep is where all the magic happens. Sleep is when your body produces more testosterone and releases human growth hormone and really does the deep repair that your body needs. When you have damaged muscle fibers or your central nervous system is fatigued after, you know, a challenging workout or maybe some heavy lifting in the gym, you really need to make sure that you're getting your sleep so that you are recovering, not just so that you don't feel sore the next day or that you have the energy to actually do your run, but from, you know, a nervous system perspective, that's one of the most important aspects. So, of course, you could skimp a little bit when you're not training very hard and life's easy, but when life starts to get hard, bank on that sleep. And drum roll, the number one thing you can do to recover from your training is to make sure that you're doing proper training in the first place. Because after all, no amount of sleep, no amount of stress-reducing activities in your life is gonna dig you out of the hole that improper training can dig you into. Because improper training, if you're following a crazy training plan, or if you're just winging it and you don't really know how to build your own training and structure it appropriately, that's likely the number one thing holding you back and making sure that you're feeling pretty terrible from run to run, workout to workout. So sound training is making sure that the workouts you're doing are appropriate for the goal race that you're training for, or whatever goal you might be training for. Making sure that the workouts are appropriate for you, because I might do a different workout than you, even though we're both training for the same race. And let's make sure the workouts are appropriate for where we are in the training cycle. So in other words, if you're 4 weeks out from a race, you might be doing something very different than if you're 4 days out from a race or 4 months out from a race. So it really depends on where in the training cycle you are. Now, of course, this also means intelligent progressions of workouts, intelligent progressions of mileage and long run distances, and all of the other variables in your training plan. So it can be complex. It is something really fun to do, but on the one hand, it's likely the number one reason why runners aren't recovering. And proper training is also the number one way that you can keep yourself healthy. So if you're an injury-prone runner, the number one thing to look at is your training. How are you training on a day-to-day basis? Because it can really dig you into a hole if you're not careful. Now, I admittedly only scratched the surface of real recovery strategies. Now, these are the big ones, but if you want more detail, I did something pretty cool a while back where I got in touch with 9 pro runners. Actually, one's a triathlete. 9 pro athletes, 8 runners, 1 triathlete. And I was curious what their favorite recovery strategies were. How do they stay healthy? How do they recover and adapt to their workouts? And I had them submit their favorite strategies, and I put it all together for you. You can download it all at strengthrunning.com/elites. These elite runners are gonna show you what works for them. And I always think it's a good idea to learn from the best and model our behaviors on them when we can. Hope you guys enjoy that. Recover well.